So what happens when you take one of the most ambitious social projects in American history and imagine rebuilding it with technology that's basically still science fiction? Well, our source material today poses that exact question, and we're going to unpack it piece by piece. And this slide really gets to the heart of it. On one side, you have the past, a massive national project built on pure vision and human will. Think pen, paper, and politics. On the other side, a potential future, built with artificial general intelligence, or AGI, using predictive models and mountains of data. It's a clash of two totally different worlds.
To really get a handle on where we might be going, we first have to understand where we've been. So let's take a look at what President Lyndon B. Johnson's Great Society actually pulled off in a world that was, believe it or not, completely analog.
I mean, just stop and think about the sheer scale of this for a second. We're talking about Medicare and Medicaid, Head Start, public broadcasting. These aren't just little programs. They are absolute pillars of modern American society. And every single one was planned out and put into action without a single computer spreadsheet, email, or database. It's kind of mind-blowing.
So let's put a number on the problem LBJ was facing: 19%. When he launched his famous war on poverty, this was the poverty rate in the United States. That means nearly 1 out of every 5 Americans was living in poverty. And here's the result. In less than a decade, that number plummeted to just 11%. That is a massive, life-changing drop for millions of people. And it was all achieved through sheer political force and huge, coordinated programs managed by hand.
And you know, this really gets to the heart of how this was even possible. It wasn't just good policy. It was driven by an incredible force of will. The source material describes LBJ as an engine of ideas, which really paints a picture of this whole thing running on pure, raw human energy.
Okay, so that's the benchmark. That's what was possible in the past. But now, the source material throws a massive, game-changing variable into the equation: artificial general intelligence, AGI. So what is AGI exactly? Well, unlike the AI we have today, which is great at specific tasks, like playing chess or writing an email, AGI is the theoretical next step. It's an AI that can think, reason, and solve complex new problems just like a human can. We're talking about a completely different kind of tool. So just imagine what a tool like that could do for a government. You could create real-time models of poverty, not just look at census data from 2 years ago. You could run millions of budget simulations to see what works before you spend a single dollar. You could literally simulate different futures to pick the best path forward. This is stuff that was pure fantasy in LBJ's time.
All right, with all that in mind, now we can dive into the core hypothetical from our source material. It's a framework they call the Great Trump AGI Society.
Now, this is a really important point to make clear. According to the source, this isn't about a political party or a specific platform. The idea here is to imagine a system, a national framework for getting things done, that uses AGI as its central engine, totally separate from partisan politics.
Okay, so let's put these two ideas head to head. On poverty, LBJ had to rely on slow, manual surveys and then build these huge, decade-long programs. The hypothetical AGI society could map poverty in real time, block by block, and then optimize funding with almost surgical precision to see what's actually working.
And it's the same story with healthcare. The Great Society created the big foundational funding systems, like Medicare. An AGI society, on the other hand, would be about creating adaptive operational systems, things like predicting disease outbreaks before they spiral out of control and constantly rerouting hospital resources to where they're needed most.
Or take education. We go from a revolutionary but one-size-fits-all program like Head Start to a system that's deeply personalized. Imagine an AI that could craft a unique curriculum for every single student, matching their own learning style and pace, while also giving teachers incredible new tools.
And of course, there's the money. The Great Society was built on these huge, manually calculated federal budgets. The AGI model? It could run millions of budget simulations every second, finding waste and inefficiency instantly. Budgeting would stop being a once-a-year political fight and become a constant, real-time process of optimization.
So, this all brings us to the ultimate showdown, right? How do these two approaches really stack up against each other? On one side, you have pure human grit and determination, and on the other, you have AI-powered data and precision.
Let's just break this down. The tools go from pen and paper to AGI. Healthcare goes from a static system to a self-correcting one. Fraud, which used to take ages to find, could be detected instantly. But look at that last line, the time horizon. That's the real bombshell. What once took decades to build and measure could, in theory, be done in months or even weeks.
So what's the big takeaway here? What's the point of applying all this insane technological power to the art of running a country? And this is the absolute key. The source material argues that AGI isn't meant to replace a leader's vision. It's meant to amplify it. It's about taking a leader's goals and multiplying their ability to achieve them, not by 2 or 3 times, but by orders of magnitude. It's a force multiplier like nothing humanity has ever seen before.
As the source puts it so well, with intelligence amplified, leadership amplified, and opportunity amplified, the future can surpass the past. The whole argument boils down to this. If one person's will could accomplish so much with so little, what becomes possible when that same will is amplified by near infinite intelligence?
And that leaves us with this final, really provocative question. If a leader like Johnson could build a great society with the tools of his time, what could a leader with AGI build next? It's a challenge to even imagine the scale of what might be possible. Thanks for diving into this with us today.